Join me today as I dive into the fantasy realm and challenge myself to provide you with the best possible alternatives to the Cosmere, because you might be tired of that. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages. I'm Jim, the father of this father-son show where we talk about fantasy, science fiction, horror, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. Today, I'm going to bring you a whole bunch of books that, if you're ready for something different than the Cosmere, these might be your thing. If you enjoy this episode, be sure to give us a like, and we hope you'll subscribe to the channel. While Brandon Sanderson is a beloved fantasy author, I've read all of his books, and many people rave about the excellence of his grand, sprawling Cosmere narrative. His publication of Wind and Truth last month, Book 5 of the Stormlight Archive, heightens the fact that his writing is not for everyone. Even people who have previously enjoyed some of Sanderson's books have tried Wind and Truth and found it leaving them wanting for better. I mostly enjoyed the book. I got an episode out talking about it, but there are certainly elements of it where I'm like, I'm not sure I'm enjoying this. So I'm here for you today if you have any sort of feeling like that about the Cosmere. Are you ready to dive into something totally different in style of fantasy fiction? Something fresh and with a tone that's completely different from the Cosmere? Consider exploring the following suggestions. First off, if you love character-driven fantasy stories, here's a few options. The First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. This is a grimdark fantasy with morally ambiguous characters, sharp humor, and an aversion to traditional heroism. If you enjoy the trilogy, the good news is there are 6 more books in the First Law series, books that build on the foundation of this original trilogy, but that I feel are even better than it. Then there's the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. I struggle with his name. This follows Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter in a world with complex political intrigue and ethical dilemmas. Have you seen the Netflix show? The books are far better. Have you played the video games, The Witcher games? Okay, now you're getting closer to the feel of the books. Another series to try is The Realm of the Elderlings by Robin Hobb. Now this has 5 separate sets of books, some trilogies, some quartets, and it begins with the Farseer trilogy. Deeply introspective and emotional, Hobb's series focuses on flawed, relatable characters and the consequences of their choices. Zach has read some of these books. I've read others of these books. Neither of us have completed the entire set yet, but we both agree there's something of value here that is distinctly different from Brandon Sanderson's style. Then I could recommend the Broken Empire trilogy by Mark Lawrence. This is a dark, gritty series following Jorg Ankrath, a ruthless anti-hero seeking power and redemption. As relatively clean and light as Sanderson writes, this is the complete opposite. Mark Lawrence is rather naughty. These books are dark and so dirty. And finally, I'll bring to you The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, an urban fantasy series that follows Harry Dresden, Chicago's only professional wizard and private investigator, as he tackles supernatural crimes, battles dark forces, and navigates the complexities of magic and morality in a modern urban setting, most of it set in Chicago. Now, those were all character-driven fantasy, but perhaps you're more looking for something that's action-packed, but still accessible. I could bring you these suggestions then. The Bloodsworn Saga by John Gwynne. This is a Norse-inspired epic filled with brutal battles, revenge, and gods walking amongst mortals. Once you start reading John Gwynne, it's easy to become addicted to his style and tone. Or how about the Shannara series by Terry Brooks? This is a classic epic fantasy adventure with a straightforward, accessible story featuring magical quests and heroic journeys. There's over 30 books in this set, with multiple story arcs that each last for a trilogy or maybe a set of 4 books. While they are all connected to an overarching tale that's told through time, running for centuries. An amazing ride. I could also suggest A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin, a gritty, politically charged epic fantasy with a focus on realism, intrigue, and the unpredictability of war. Be warned, though, the downside to this one is there's 5 great books in this series, but it's incomplete. There's supposed to be 2 more books. George promised us these, but it's been over 13 years now without book 6 coming out. Still, I absolutely enjoyed these 5, and they are clearly an anti-Cosmere style. I'll toss in one more that fits this action-packed style, but this is based on the recommendations of others, including Spencer at the Fantasy Files podcast, because I haven't read this yet. It's high on my TBR, Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames. Just that book. There is a second book that's somewhat connected to it, but you don't have to. It's not like a trilogy you must move through. You can just read this first one. It's a humorous, action-packed story about a retired band of mercenaries reuniting for one last quest. I really need to read this one soon. While I'm making recommendations for something fresh and different as compared to Brandon Sanderson's style, you might want to stray just a bit beyond straight fantasy, in which case I can make 3 more recommendations. First, the Zombie Fallout series by Mark Tufo, a humorous and action-packed post-apocalyptic saga following Michael Talbot and his family as they navigate a world overrun by zombies, battling undead hordes, mutated monsters, and unexpected threats. Then there's the Helldivers series by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. In a radioactive post-apocalyptic world, humanity's survivors live aboard airships way up in the sky, while Helldivers risk their lives scavenging Earth's dangerous, toxic surface for supplies and salvation. And finally, a freestanding book, I'd suggest Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. A lone astronaut awakens on a spaceship with no memory of his mission and must unravel a cosmic mystery to save Earth from an impending extinction event. Great science fiction tale. There are plenty of other options out there, but these are 12 recommendations I feel pretty good making for you, any one of which might be just the thing you'll enjoy if you found your way into speculative fiction through the gateway of the Cosmere, but are now feeling like there needs to be more. Something different, something better for you. So enjoy the exploration. As for the rest of you, what recommendations might you add? Fantasy books or series that are great alternatives to Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere tone and style? Or even science fiction suggestions that you think also might play well? Add your recommendations in the comment box. And thanks for sharing. And if you have anything that you'd like to add about the 12 recommendations I made, go for it. Use that comment box. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll talk to you next time.